According to a lot of influencers, bringing your medications on a plane is basically a crime. TSA will confiscate your meds. You'll be banned from flying. Seniors are losing their prescriptions at security. Welcome back to Journeys of Peace. Yes, I know. People hate the truth, and these influencers who are successful spoon out dramatic lies for stupid people to spoon up. Do you want to stay on that group or actually sit on the intelligence couch? According to these influencers, bringing your blood pressure medication on a plane requires the same security clearance as transporting nuclear codes. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Let's talk about what TSA actually says, what actually happens in real life, and why you can stop panicking about your pill organizer. Let's start with liquid medications, because this is one of the biggest fear-mongering topics online. You've probably heard some version of, if it's over 3.4 ounces, TSA will take it. That's true for regular liquids like shampoo. That is not how medically necessary liquids work. Here's what TSA actually says. Medically necessary liquids are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule. Exempt, as in that rule does not apply. If it's medication you genuinely need, you can bring more than 3.4 ounces in your carry-on. So what do you actually do at the airport? It's very simple. First, you keep your liquid medications in your carry-on bag, somewhere accessible. Don't bury them under 3 sweaters and a pair of shoes. Second, when you get to the front of the security line, you tell the TSA officer, "I have liquid medications to declare." That's it. That's the magic phrase. You don't need to give a speech, you don't need to hand them your medical history, you just calmly declare it. Third, they'll usually take the liquids, screen them separately, maybe run a quick test or send the bin through again, and then hand them back to you. Most of the time, this takes an extra 30 seconds to a minute. No drama, no confiscation, no arrest, just a normal Tuesday for TSA agents who see thousands of medications every single day. Now let's talk about pills, because this is where influencer advice gets truly chaotic. Half of them say, everything must be in original prescription bottles. The other half say, pill organizers are totally fine. They're both half right, which is somehow more confusing than being completely wrong. Here's the actual breakdown. TSA does not require your pills to be in their original pharmacy containers with some caveats. Let me say that again. TSA does not require original bottles for pills. You can use a pill organizer, a little travel case, a labeled container, even a zip-top bag. They do not care how you organize your pills. Where things get more nuanced is with laws outside of TSA, and especially with controlled substances. Some state laws in the US care about controlled substances being properly labeled, especially if you're carrying around a large quantity. That's not a TSA thing, that's a legal thing. TSA's focus is on safety and security, not whether your Tuesday morning dose is in a cute little rainbow organizer. So here's a practical, low-stress way to handle this. For regular over-the-counter medications, things like ibuprofen, acetaminophen, diphenhydramine, allergy meds, basic cold medicine, you can organize them however is most convenient for you. A weekly pill organizer, a clearly labeled travel container, small bottles, whatever makes your life easier. TSA is not going to interrogate you about your Advil. For prescription medications that are not controlled substances, you have options. Technically, you can also put them into an organizer, especially if you need everything laid out by day and time. However, keeping at least some of them in their original bottles with your name and the pharmacy label can make things simpler if anyone ever does have a question. For controlled substances, medications like certain ADHD meds, some anxiety medications, and strong painkillers, this is where I strongly recommend original prescription bottles with your name, your doctor's name, and the pharmacy label. For those, I also recommend carrying a copy of your prescription, or a pharmacy printout of all your active prescriptions, or even a brief doctor's note if you're traveling internationally. Not because TSA is standing there demanding paperwork. They usually aren't. But because if anyone, anywhere, does ask questions, you can calmly hand them proof that these medications are prescribed to you and medically necessary. It's like carrying travel insurance. You hope you never need it, but you're relieved to have it if something comes up. Now, does that mean you can take anything, anywhere, with no research? Absolutely not. And this is where influencers often scare you about the wrong thing. For domestic US travel, TSA rules are the main thing you're dealing with. For international travel, destination country laws matter a lot more than TSA. Some medications that are completely normal in the US are restricted or banned in other countries. For example, some ADHD medications containing certain stimulants are restricted in Japan. Codeine is banned in several Middle Eastern countries. Some common cold medicines and decongestants are restricted or require a prescription in places where you can buy them over the counter in the US. So when you're traveling internationally, here's the smart way to prepare. First, check the official information for the country you're visiting. The best starting point is usually the website of that country's embassy or consulate, or the travel section of your own government's website. Look for sections specifically about bringing medications into the country. Second, if you take any controlled substances, or if your medication is a stimulant, a strong painkiller, or something that's often abused, contact the consulate of the destination country directly. Ask them what documentation you need and whether your medication is allowed. If they give you guidance via email, save that email and bring a copy with you. Third, pack your medications thoughtfully as previously explained, erring on the side of caution. Fourth, remember that for returning to the United States, there is typically a 90-day supply limit for personal medications. You're traveling with meds for yourself, not importing for resale. The point here is not to scare you away from traveling with medications. It's to redirect your attention to the things that actually matter. Most of the fear you see online is about TSA doing dramatic, made-for-TikTok confiscations. In reality, TSA is mostly concerned with security, making sure you're not bringing dangerous liquids or sharp things or explosives onto a plane. Your vitamins and your blood pressure meds are not their big focus. You can even travel abroad with Ozempic in a cooler. So if you're anxious about flying, that's completely understandable. But your medications are not the enemy here. And if someone in your life is still panicking because they saw a scary TikTok about TSA and medications, send them this video instead. Let them borrow your preparation instead of your anxiety. Use your energy to plan the trip, not to catastrophize the pharmacy section of your carry-on. If you want more calm, practical travel advice without the drama, stick around. I've got videos on other travel myths, real packing strategies that don't involve hacks, and how to make your trips less stressful for you and everyone around you. Hit like if this helped lower your blood pressure. Subscribe if you're tired of being yelled at by people who clearly haven't read a single official guideline in their life. And most importantly, take your meds, take your documentation, and take the trip. Bon voyage.